Bula Vinaka boxing fans, we are 10 days from the greatest heavyweight fight that we're probably going to see in the last 25 years. You've guessed it, it's the undisputed heavyweight championship between Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, the self-proclaimed King of Britannia, against the Cossack warrior, Alexander the Cat Usyk. In this video, we're going to talk about what Tyson Fury needs to do in order to be able to beat Usyk. What are his keys to victory? And what are the 5 things I believe, in my opinion, that Fury needs to do to come out on top in this historic, undisputed fight. The first undisputed fight we've seen at heavyweight since the great Evander Holyfield took on Lennox Lewis 25 years ago. So, number 1 for Fury. I've made some notes. I'm going to refer to them, but I'm going to go through the 5 key areas or tactics that Fury needs to employ, in my opinion, to be able to beat Usyk and be victorious as the undisputed king of the heavyweight division on May 18th. Number 1, Fury has to come in optimal fighting shape, fighting weight. This is going to be absolutely important. We've heard a lot of talk around Fury coming in at his career lighters. We've had talk that, maybe he's a bit heavy. Recent videos showed that he still had a lot of that excess fat and quite heavy around the stomach area. The weight and the shape is going to be absolutely important. If he comes in the same type of shape that he was against Francis Ngannou, he's already lost the fight. There is no way that version or that Fury in that particular shape is going to be able to beat Alexander Usyk. There is absolutely no way, if he comes in the shape that he did against Derek Chisora a couple of years ago, will be enough to beat Alexander Usyk. He needs to come in similar to what he was against Dillian Whyte, in my opinion, around 265, between that 260 to 265. I even think the 273 that he was against Deontay Wilder is still too heavy against Usyk. Wilder and Usyk are 2 completely different fighters. Usyk is more nimble, more fleet-footed, throws more combinations, angles, as a smaller fighter, doesn't rely on power, he relies on speed, versus Wilder, who's a similar height to Fury, more lanky, doesn't have the best footwork, can be uncoordinated, but can close the distance really quick with that 1-2. So Fury needed to be bigger to back him up because he doesn't like fighting on the back foot. Problem is, Usyk can fight on the back foot. He can fight on the front foot, he can fight on the back foot. So Fury, in my opinion, he needs to be able to be in an optimal weight and an optimal shape to be able to keep up with Usyk and not run out of gas, run out of steam, and to match that footwork that Usyk has, because we know Fury's got great footwork. He might not have his best footwork as Alexander Usyk, but I can tell you right now, if we see the Fury of old, this will be the best fighter that Usyk has fought in the heavyweight division in terms of having the best footwork. So optimal weight, optimal shape is point 1. Point 2, Tyson Fury needs to vary his fighting tactics and fighting style against Usyk. He can't approach this fight trying to employ one style. We've seen so many fighters in the cruiserweight and heavyweight division fall short against Usyk because they try and do the same thing throughout the whole 12 rounds and Usyk figures you out. So what I mean by he needs to vary his fighting style and tactics is Fury needs to box both on the back foot, using boxing, jab, 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 throw the 1-2 combinations. Then he needs to go on the front foot and start attacking, using front foot pressure. He needs to employ that similar type of strategy that he had against Deontay Wilder in fight 2, kind of front foot, but with this one he also needs to kind of just keep varying it, going on the back foot, going on the front foot, with lots of feints. There has to be a lot of feints in this match by Fury. Usyk is going to be feinting, but Usyk tends to punch with his feints. Fury doesn't. He tends to do the feint and then holds the punches back. He needs to keep Usyk guessing. Is he going to be in the back foot? Is he going to be in the front foot? Does he need to change southpaw? Remember, Usyk has not fought a southpaw in many, many years. He's been fighting a lot of orthodox fighters. So Fury needs to vary his tactics. He needs to keep Usyk thinking, because that's what Usyk does to all his opponents. He's never fought anyone that's got him thinking. The closest we had was Marius Bradis and Tony Bellew, but he worked them out really quickly, because guess what, people? They didn't adapt and change their style. They try to do the same thing over 12 rounds, and Usyk is just too clever for that. He'll figure you out and go, okay, so you want to do this. Right, so I'm just going to do this while you keep doing this. But Fury, he's the one fighter that can keep you guessing. So that's what he needs to do. Vary his tactics. Number 3 is an obvious one. We've talked about it. We've acknowledged it. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it's probably coming. And number 3 on my list is Fury needs to target the body of Usyk. Fury is a great combination puncher when he wants to be. We've seen less of that recently. Is it because he's getting older, he's slowing down? But when he wants to throw those combinations, he's pretty good. And in particular, what Fury is really good at is inside fighting and throwing that uppercut. Now, he's good with the uppercut to the head, to the face. He needs to vary that uppercut and send it to the body. Send those uppercuts to the body. Send a hook to the body. Have you all forgotten that he dropped Deontay Wilder in the second fight? The second time he dropped him was with a body shot. An actual body shot. He saw the opening and he hit Wilder, and Wilder fell on the canvas. We know that Wilder's legs had gone, but still, that is something that's going to really work for Fury, is to target the body. We know that Usyk is vulnerable to the body. He doesn't like it. Look at what Beterbiev did to him in the amateurs. Look at the discomfort and pressure Usyk was under in both fights when AJ targeted his body. And then the infamous low blow that was on the belt line. For me, it was borderline. It was borderline, people. Fury is a far better fighter in terms of throwing his punches together than Daniel Dubois, and also, I believe, in patches when he wants to be Joshua. Joshua's got more speed and is a better combination puncher, but Fury knows how to land those punches really well when he wants to. So target the body, Fury, and that's going to give you a much better chance. Number 4 is another pretty obvious one. We've had people talk about this, call this out. Is this going to be a factor? But, the biggest elephant in the room is the massive size difference, the height and weight difference that Usyk is going to have to deal with in Tyson Fury. You're talking potentially 4 or 5 inches taller, about 6 inches more in reach, a 6-inch reach advantage, and he's probably going to be 30 to 40 pounds heavier. So he needs to be able to use his size and use his strength on Usyk. He needs to be able to lean on Usyk, tire him out. Remember, Usyk's game is centered all around his wonderful footwork and his combinations. His punching works in line with his footwork. In the first fight against Anthony Joshua, you saw Usyk start really fast and then he started to fade a bit, right? Especially in that round where Joshua started to have a bit more success. But the problem was Joshua gassed himself, because the first part of the fight was done at such a high pace. I think Joshua threw a few last punches, and then towards the end, he was completely gassed. Similarly, on the second fight, Joshua went for the kitchen sink, I think around 8 or 9. He didn't have much left. Usyk then came on strong. But if Fury can actually lean on Usyk, tire his legs out, use that weight on him, and if there's any big fighter that can use their size better than anyone, it's Tyson Fury. He needs to be able to use his weight, lean on him, slow Usyk down, and he needs to jab with the jabber, jab with Usyk. As soon as Usyk is jabbing, jab with him. He's got a 6-inch reach advantage. If he's throwing that jab and he's got that big long lever out and he kind of has that as a finder, how is Usyk going to be coming around? He's going to have to come in, right, from the side, and then and then Fury can throw an uppercut or a hook. And he throws those beautiful left hooks that hit people to the temple and throw the uppercut. So he needs to use the jab. If Usyk tries to come in, throw the hook, throw the uppercut to the body, to the head. If he uses his size, he uses his reach, is my point 4, that's going to, again, give him a much better chance of coming out on this fight on top as a victor. And number 5, probably, I think, one of the most important tactics that Fury needs to use. One that many boxers haven't really done effectively. Probably the only one who's done it to an extent was Chisora. But I believe that Fury needs to employ rough house tactics with Usyk. He needs to make this a fight versus a boxing match. If you try and box with Usyk, you've already lost. We know that Usyk is a far better technical boxer. He is an Olympic gold medalist. He's had over 300 amateur fights. He is absolutely amazing. A technical master wizard at boxing. Fury isn't bad himself. Against all the other heavyweights, he is pretty good, great technical boxer. But against Usyk, you're talking about another level. So what Fury needs to do is Fury does a lot of these things. He did it against Steve Cunningham, where he likes to put his forearm to your neck and to the face. He needs to do that. He needs to get Usyk in a headlock. He needs to throw some rabbit punches. He needs to throw a couple of low blows. Stick the elbow out. Bend the rules. Yes, not the greatest thing, but bend the rules to a point where it's making Usyk feel uncomfortable in the ring. Not to the point where he's going to get points taken off. No. That's not what I'm saying he needs to do. He needs to see exactly how far he can go. Dylan White is the perfect example. He is not the most gifted fighter, right? But he wins a lot of his fights on grit and determination. When he fought Joseph Parker, there was absolutely no way he should have beaten Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker at the time had just come off an awesome fight with Joshua, taking him to the distance for the first time. Josh was missing so many times, couldn't really land, couldn't knock out Parker. Then Parker goes in with White and has a war because White saw what Joshua did with Parker and he actually drops him. He leaned on him, he used his elbows, roughed him up, put him in a headlock, used his head, all sorts of things, made Parker feel uncomfortable for the first time. So in a sense, Fury needs to employ that. Dylan White didn't get a single point taken off him for what he did to Parker, and he probably should have. So bend the rules. So those are my 5 key things. Number 1, I'll recap again. He needs to come in optimal fighting shape and weight. Number 2, vary his fighting tactics using front foot, back foot, feints. Number 3, target Usyk's body, especially with the uppercuts and hooks. Number 4, use his incredible size and reach advantages that he has over Usyk. And number 5, employ rough house tactics. Make this a fight. Make Usyk feel uncomfortable and know that you are the big dog in there. If Fury employs these 5 tactics within his fight with Usyk, I believe he can come out victorious and become the first undisputed heavyweight champion since 1999. Get up there, my boy Tyson Fury. Come and do it. Bring it home for all your British fans, for all your fans all here in New Zealand, Australia, all around the world. You employ those 5 tactics, you can get the job done, mate. Thanks for watching as always. Stay tuned for my next video, which is going to be what Usyk, that Cossack warrior, needs to do to be able to beat Fury in the next video. Drop a comment, drop a like, please share and subscribe. And as always, you are watching Seru Bale's Boxing and Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. Vinaka.